Hello everyone, my name is Philippe Van Loo, and welcome to the second episode of the 360 Guide to California. This is the 360 Cast series where we bring some of the more interesting places in California to you through the magic of 360 filmmaking. If you need a reminder of what a 360 Cast is, just imagine that it's like a video podcast, but with the video in all 360 degrees, so feel free to look around as the video plays in order to see more of the scene. When you visit Northern California, perhaps one of the more visually striking features of it, along with the rest of the Pacific coast, is how green it is. Now, while you could blame it all on the tree-hugging hippies that California is known for, California's need for green stems almost as far back as California's own statehood, back in 1850. In fact, Golden Gate Park is one of several major California parks in the earliest decades of its history, which also includes Mission Dolores Park, Balboa Park in San Diego, Muir Woods, and Yosemite, the latter two being popular destinations before becoming official national parks. In the 1860s, the residents of San Francisco desired a green area akin to Central Park in New York City. By the 1870s, William Hammond Hall and his assistant, John McLaren, had surveyed the area that would become Golden Gate Park and delivered a plan for the park to the Park Commission, with the goal, along with their aid and God's will, to make it one of the beauty spots of the world. The plan was set forth, and McLaren ended up being Golden Gate Park's first commissioner and was it for the next 53 years, straight up refusing retirement until he passed in 1943 at the age of 96. Golden Gate Park truly is one of the most beautiful parks in the world, and it is full of a great number of interesting spots and historical locations. I like to simply share just a few of them with you. Take a quick look to your left and right. From here you can see both the DeYoung Museum to your left and the California Academy of Sciences to your right. Curiously enough, both museums share a similar life and fate. The California Academy of Sciences was founded in 1853, making it the oldest museum in California. Later, as part of the 1894 Midwinter Exposition, the Fine Arts Building was constructed at the location currently occupied by the DeYoung Museum. Both museums were severely damaged in the 1906 San Francisco earthquake, which also forced the Academy of Sciences to move to its current location in Golden Gate Park. After rebuilding, the museums lived a peaceful life, with the Fine Arts Building being renamed after its original director, M.H. DeYoung of the San Francisco Chronicle, until they were once again basically destroyed by the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. They would finally be rebuilt years later, with the DeYoung reopening in 2005 and the Academy of Sciences reopening in 2008, where it also acquired its distinctive green roof. Hopefully another earthquake doesn't destroy them once again, but at least you can count on San Francisco's desire to rebuild them over and over again. Completed in 1876, the Conservatory of Flowers is the oldest building in Golden Gate Park and the oldest wood and glass structure of its type in North America. Although it withstood the 1906 earthquake that destroyed many other buildings in San Francisco, it actually sustained major damage from fires in 1883 and 1918. The most recent restoration of the conservatory was completed in 2003, and it has hosted over 2 million visitors since then. Another structure that has survived San Francisco's many earthquakes, the Alvord Lake Bridge, is a reinforced concrete bridge, and is the first of its kind in America. It's one of the few structures in San Francisco that survived the 1906 earthquake intact. The Murphy and Dutch windmills are the two windmills added to Golden Gate Park in 1903, originally built to pump groundwater to help irrigate the park. However, they were replaced by an electric pump in 1913, and they fell in a state of disrepair. It wasn't until the 1980s when both windmills were restored and are now used by the San Francisco Dutch community in their yearly celebration of their heritage. Speaking of the windmills, Spreckels Lake is an artificial reservoir filled by water pumped by the windmills and was completed in 1904. It is home to the San Francisco Model Yacht Club, and it is also open to model boating enthusiasts in general. Toy boats can often be seen sailing on its water. Another historic location in the park is Hippie Hill, a prominent location during the Summer of Love as it hosted legendary musicians such as Janis Joplin, Jefferson Airplane, and George Harrison. It is an icon of counterculture in San Francisco. Even to this day, it's still a popular hangout spot for residents who want to escape the hustle and bustle of Haight Street, especially on days like April 20th. The Rose Garden was opened in 1961 by Roy Hudson. There are now over 60 beds of roses, most of which coming from local growers. Some of the variations of flowers that grow there include Lavender Lassie, Sally Holmes, and Sweetbriar roses. California poppies can be seen all over the park. The poppy itself was adopted as the state flower of California in 1903. California Poppy Day is April 6th, and the flowers bloom between February and September. Golden Gate Park wouldn't be a world-class park if it also didn't host a few statues of some of the more famous people of the world. Tomas Garrard was the first president of Czechoslovakia. This memorial bust, which resides in the Rose Garden, was gifted to the park by Czechoslovakian Gymnastics Association in 1962. President James A. Garfield was the 20th President of the United States and served less than 1 year of his term before being assassinated. This memorial statue was created by sculptor and San Francisco resident Frank Happersberger. Robert Emmet was an Irish Republican and nationalist who led a failed rebellion against the British in 1803. For his actions, he was tried for high treason and executed. This statue was donated to the park in 1919 by former San Francisco Mayor James D. Phelan, who strongly supported the Irish cause. Currently spanning about 5 acres, the Japanese tea garden was created and maintained by Makoto Hagiwara, who lived there with his family for many years. During World War II and the height of anti-Japanese sentiment, the Hagiwara family were involuntarily removed to internment camps, along with thousands of other Japanese Americans, and the site sadly fell into disrepair. After the war was a period of reconciliation, a large bronze Buddha statue was donated in 1949, and in 1953 the 9,000-pound Lantern of Peace was installed on the premises of the garden. Makoto Hagiwara himself would later be honored by the renaming of the street that passes in front of the garden and the DeYoung Museum. Anyways, as you can tell, Golden Gate Park has slowly changed over its near 150-year life. Lots of then new attractions became an important part of the park's repertoire, and it even survived 2 major earthquakes, proving you simply can't keep a good thing down. So next time you find yourself in San Francisco, head over to Golden Gate Park, find a secluded spot where you can't see any part of the city, let alone anyone else, grab a book, and just sit back and relax in one of the greatest green areas in California, if not the world. And that's just about it for this episode. I want to thank you very much for taking the time to watch it. And if you enjoyed it, feel free to like and share this video, as well as subscribe to the MindVR channel so you can be sure to check out the next episode when it comes out. Thank you very much, and have a good day.